Hello and welcome back to Small Talk. We have finally reached our 50th episode in this year-long celebration of Division III. Today, we're going to chat with the men's soccer duo from Adrian College. I'm your host, Katie Mucci. Each week on this show, we highlight the past and present of Division III, with both current and former student athletes joining to talk about their experiences, their favorite on-campus spots, the craziest road trip stories, and more. Today, we're chatting with Brady Musser, a member of the men's soccer team, alongside a former member of the program, Justin Sarka. The two talk about their favorite memories with the program, what happens when their teammates sleep through the alarm, twice, what they hope for the future of Division III, and more. Thanks for joining this week. Now it's time for some small talk.
Hi, I'm Brady. I'm going into my senior year on the Adrian College men's soccer team.
Yeah, and my name is Justin Sarka. I was a former Adrian College men's soccer player. I graduated from Adrian College in 2023.
Welcome to both of you for the last 50th episode of this podcast series. Excited to close it out with some men's soccer as we get very close to your senior season, Brady. Probably only just about a month away, I guess. Thank you both for joining me today. Excited to chat and hear more about Adrian and your experience there. So the first thing we'll talk about is kind of on-campus life. And I'll have you start this one, Brady. You and your teammates are hanging out on campus or around the local area. What are some of those best spots that you guys get together at?
Well, I think the first place that comes to mind has got to be the Lenawee Rec Center. It's the bowling alley on campus and or not on campus, but like pretty close to campus. And every Tuesday is college night. So it's just $10 all you can bowl after 10 p.m. So out of season mainly, me and the guys will get together and go and do that on a Tuesday night, just have some fun. It's kind of tough in season when you have practices in the morning, but I would say that's definitely our go-to. On campus, you'll see a lot of guys going to the gym together, going out to the soccer field together just to stay active and hang out. Not sure if it was the same when Sarka was around.
Well, Brady's actually forgetting a very important location, and that is Wow Cafe.
That is
It's
very
always
true.
good to go to Wow Cafe, catch some hockey games, sit up at the restaurant. It's a perfect view. You're right over the visiting team as well as the home team, so you can, chirp the visitors a little bit and give some stick to the opposing team.
Yeah, I forgot about Wow. Wow's a fun spot too. It's nice. It's within walking distance too, so you don't have to get a giant group together and drive somewhere. That makes it easy.
And you guys do have about 500 hockey teams, I think, at Adrian. So it's a nice place to go. I was looking up the website and I was like, wait, how many different hockey teams are there here?
Yeah, it gets pretty confusing. I think there's like our NCAA teams, and then we have club teams for the D1, D2, and D3 level as well. So, I mean, that's like 8 teams, and there could be some hidden ones that I don't even know about. So,
And they're all good, I'm sure. I know the
oh
NCAA
yeah.
ones are at least. So awesome. Any other hangout spots from you, Justin, from your time?
Man, I think a big one for me was, it was always fun to just, go to the dining hall. That's a place where all the guys would kind of get together for lunch or dinner. Our dining hall is called Ritchie Dining Hall. Yeah, had a lot of good times there. Just sitting around with all the guys, cracking jokes and eating some college level food.
I was gonna say the food is definitely not the main draw to. Well, I guess it's. Oh, how do I want to word this? It gets you by, but the main draw to Richie is just being able to sit down and chat with your friends for a little bit. Get a nice little break from class.
Yeah, and
The
I think
dessert table always hits different though.
the desserts hit. Yeah, for sure. I would say across all colleges, nobody really raves about their food that much. I would say Adrian had their special days. Orange chicken. You could never go wrong with rice and orange chicken.
Oh, the big Thanksgiving meal that they would do
Oh
that they
yeah.
do for us every year. That one's a big draw. You'll see a line like down the main stretch of campus of people waiting to get into Ritchie for our giant Thanksgiving meal that we do every year.
Gotta love a good dining hall. Any local spots around town that if someone's coming to town to visit or go see a game that they need to make sure and check out?
I'm gonna steal this one actually. I'm gonna get this out before you get a chance to. I would say there's two main spots, and that would be Chomp. It's a restaurant. It's like American dining. They have really, really good burgers. And the second one would be Cancun Mexican restaurant. Never go wrong with a little bit of Mexican.
You actually didn't say the one that I thought you were going to. I thought you were gonna say Sauce, the
Oh, sauce,
Italian
yeah.
one. That one's good, but it's a little more pricey for a college student, but their food
I'll be
does
honest,
hit.
I actually never went to sauce.
Ah,
I ate some people's leftover takeout a couple of times, but that was about it. I never
As
I
you
went
mean,
do
there
in
myself.
college.
Yeah, as I'm just rummaging through my friends' refrigerators.
I
oh
love
my
it.
gosh, the
And
life of
Justin,
a
where are you
college.
at these days?
So I recently moved out of my parents' house. I live in Grand Rapids now, Grand Rapids, Michigan. So yeah, just living in Grand Rapids, and I work here as well.
Very cool. Do you get back? Have you gotten back to campus? Mentioned that, I guess, year you've been gone.
Yeah, I would say I probably went back and saw Brady and the guys handful of times, maybe 5 times or so. A good amount, I would say. We're still keeping in touch.
So we're adding fresh sauce food to your list for next time you're there,
Yeah.
not
See, now that
someone
I'm like
else's
a real
leftovers.
visitor, I need to go get
Yeah,
sauce. Yeah.
a real working adult too. Um,
Right. I can afford it now.
exactly. Awesome. Well, now let's think about on the road. So it's D3. You're not flying all over the country. But I did look at your schedule. You get around a little bit to Ohio, kind of the surrounding Midwestern states, for some games. So starting with you, Justin, maybe I don't think travel was that different in the last 2 years. So I'll stick to just what your trips were. But when you think about your trips, any fun road trips you guys had or really cool destinations you guys had?
Yeah, so I would say we did a trip to Kentucky. We went to Louisville for a tournament. That was a pretty good time. That was one of our longer bus rides, but it was just, it's just fun going and playing in a tournament in another state, especially a state that we don't really get down to all that often. So we stayed in a hotel. We always get to, it kind of felt like going back to when you're in high school and you're doing club soccer, traveling with the teammates, and staying overnight in the hotel. Everybody's just kind of hanging out. That was a pretty fun time.
That was back when Among Us was super popular. We got a huge game of Among Us going on the bus.
I
That
will
was a
say
fun time.
that was more the younger guys at the time.
Yeah,
You
I
know, I was
guess.
I was at that point where I was a junior, so I was like, nah, I'm not gonna be playing Among Us with the freshmen.
Yeah, that's
That
fair.
game really did have its moment there for a while, so I get it. That actually came up
It
on
did, it
another
did.
podcast recently. They talked about playing Among Us on the bus and how they're having to hide what was going on and they're yelling at each other the whole time. So I can imagine it'd be fun. For you, Brady, any locations stand out or any trips?
Yeah, I would say the same. Kentucky was definitely um very memorable, especially like coming in as a freshman, not entirely knowing what to expect. It was good to just get some time like on the road and meet all the guys. And that was like right at the beginning of our season too. So, um yeah, it was just good to meet everybody. We had a fun time. And we won big that second game too. But other than that, we went to Anderson, Indiana, this past year, and I would say that it wasn't quite Kentucky. I'll just say that it wasn't quite Louisville by any means. It was a very small town, felt like the middle of nowhere, Indiana. But yeah, it was still a good time, but it definitely wasn't Louisville at all.
Got it. I'm sure it was more the bus ride and the trip that was fun, not the location. I bet that's what I've heard as consensus is bus rides are awesome.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah,
sure.
unless you have, a ton of homework and a big presentation due,
Mm,
the next day, and then you're you're cramming in all your homework on the 5-hour bus ride.
That's fair. That's fair. Now let's think about academics. So Justin, when you were in school, what was your major?
I was a marketing major.
And Brady, how about you right now?
I'm a communications major.
Okay, so close-ish, but probably I imagine communications is one school and marketing is probably business. Is that accurate? So maybe not a ton of overlap with your classes, but I guess for you, Justin, when you think back to your degree and also just Adrian and your experience there, what really drew you to want to go to school there other than soccer?
Yeah, for me, my sister actually attended Adrian College, so I did have some roots in the school. So I was really like the campus, and I do prefer the smaller class sizes. I think that for me personally, I like collaborating with my peers as well as the professors. It just helps me learn better. So that was a big part of my decision as well. I don't know how I would handle being in like a lecture hall with 300 plus students and no real relationship with the professor. So I really enjoyed having those relationships where I could, if I was struggling a little bit more in class, I could stay after and talk with the professor and get some extra help on stuff.
How about you, Brady? What brought you over to Adrian?
I would say similar to Justin. I really liked the appeal of smaller class sizes. I think there's a couple professors within the communications department that I've had for like 3 or 4 different classes now. So you kind of really get to know them on a first name basis, I would say, but you don't really want to call your professor by their first name. That's a little uh, weird. But the communications department is great there. That we have our own radio station, like public radio station that students can get experience working for, and then our YouTube channel where we broadcast all of our athletic events. Um, I think that's a luxury that not a lot of students have. Like even for parents, like trying to watch, a lot of times you have to go through like you have to pay for like a subscription to watch certain sports. So um, being able to kind of get involved in those like real world organizations, and a lot of the professors too, they work with they either own their own businesses or like work with small businesses within the community. And I thought that was a really huge draw for me, because at the end of the day, it's more than just school, it's more than just sports, it's being involved in the community and really trying to make a difference, you know.
Do you have are you a DJ on the radio, Brady? Is that what you're telling us?
No, 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 no. No, I did record a pretty nice artist profile on Elton John for one of my classes.
Ooh.
Um, that was a fun project to do. So yeah, that's the other thing too is projects like that where you kind of um, get experience, working a radio set or being on camera, being on the radio, like it just really makes you more comfortable in those sort of environments. So uh, I really enjoyed that.
I don't think we ever had a Brady on the aux for the speaker in the locker room. Maybe
No,
maybe we
no,
were doing something wrong, or maybe we were just protecting ourselves. I'm not too sure.
no. I don't think the guys would appreciate me bumping Elton John before games or
Yeah,
anything.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if I'm feeling the classics when I'm trying to get ready for a game.
Well, it's a good thing I was never a DJ then.
You could do like the late night, the oldies, like 1 a.m. when not too many people are listening, maybe.
Yeah, everybody's kind of winding down, just need something relaxing. Yeah, that's more my speed for sure.
It would have
Perfect.
been perfect for the bus rides home.
There you
Oh,
go. For you, Brady, since you're in the thick of it, any classes or professors that stand out as just someone you really enjoyed or something you really enjoyed?
yeah, I would say the one professor that sticks out mainly to me was Michael Neal. He's a professor in the comms department, and he actually owns his own media company. So I think he's done a couple like feature length films, a couple documentaries. And I took digital media production with him my freshman year, and we each person in the class got their own camera, their own tripod, a couple different microphones. just recording equipment, stuff like that. And we got familiar with this video editing software. And the whole class was a series of projects based around different types of media. So like the first one we did a vlog, and I recorded a video of me taking my dog to the park, and did like a voiceover over it. One of them was an interview where we picked like a completely random person and just had like sat them down and recorded an interview. That was a lot of fun. Time lapse video, I did one of the sunset. That one was pretty cool. So I really enjoyed that class, and I've since had Professor Neal a couple different times, and he's just a great guy all around.
Justin, anything stand out to you from your time when you look back?
Yeah, kind of going off what Brady was talking about, I had a couple of professors that I really enjoyed having as professors. One of them, shout out Jill Olette. She was my marketing professor. She also did a lot of public speaking classes as well. I would say that she helped me a lot in terms of not only public speaking, but also just communicating in like a more professional manner. A lot of the things that she taught us translated very well into, getting out of college, doing interviews, and then actually working and communicating in the workplace. So I would say she was a big impact on me. She was also my advisor for 3 years of my time, or 3 years of my 4 years in college. Another professor that stands out is Jason Smart. I had him for a lot of graphic design classes because I got my certificate in graphic design, and he was just a really cool guy. He had a really good eye for art, and art is not something that I thought I would have been good at. But I really liked the idea of graphic design, and he really helped teach me a lot of things and kind of unlock some potential that I didn't know that I had. So um, really, really appreciated getting to know both of those two.
Very cool. Sounds like Brady maybe had that professor as well. I saw some head nods.
I did, yeah. I just had him. Um, I took typography first semester last year, and then I took intro to graphic design, and he's a great dude as well. And um, he also owns his own design company. He does like freelance graphic design work for local businesses, like designing logos and branding and stuff like that. And that's actually something that I've used in my internship this summer, is some of the graphic design skills that he taught me. And I would agree totally with what Justin said. Like, I never considered myself like a creative, artistic person, but like once you kind of start just working at it and just like trying new things, and like not everybody has an eye for art, but like by trial and error, you just kind of learn what works, what doesn't. And yeah, he's one for sure that I forgot to mention earlier, but yeah, he's a great guy as well.
Yeah, it's Smarty Designs, right?
Yeah,
That's his brand. Yeah.
yeah.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out Smarty
Um,
Designs.
awesome. Well, now let's get to some story time. So the first thing I want you both to share is your funniest or craziest but appropriate story. So we will flip the order and have Brady go first on this one.
Oh, crazy stories. Oh gosh, I really should have jogged my memory a little bit before this. Um, any chance you would want to go first on this one, Sarka?
Yeah, putting it back on the captain. All right, I'll step up.
Sorry. My
I
memory just blanking on me right now.
I mean, this is kind of like a mix between it was crazy at the time and then kind of got funny as time went on because Luke turned out okay in the end. Maybe. This is going back to our trip to Louisville. We were in we were in a game, and Luke just got absolutely cleared out. Somebody had played him a through ball, and he was chasing it down, and the defender kind of met him at the ball, and really just hit Luke more than he got the ball. And Luke got a concussion for sure, a pretty bad concussion. But when he got up, he was like, "Hey, what's the score? Are we winning?" And everyone was like, No, dude, we're like 10 minutes in the game. Like we're not winning yet. And he seemed out of it for the rest of the day. And the rest of the weekend he was a little bit loopy, and it was a little funny at the time, but he turned out to be all right. No serious issues there, so we can pick on him for it now, but he was a little out of it for a while.
Oh no.
The poor kid. The poor kid. Uh, oh, crazy stories. Well, oh gosh, I just can't even think like what's good stuff to include in a podcast. Well, when you say things like that, the most glaring story that comes to mind is Dante and Jackson sleeping through practice twice within like a week of each other. And I feel bad because like we've kind of like ragged on them for it for a while now, and they've both since apologized and definitely made up for it. But like that was just funny. Like it happens one time, and you're like, okay, whatever. Like you sleep through an alarm, whatever, and then it happened again the very next week after they like apologized and were like, we won't let it happen again. We won't let it happen again. But it's like, what can you do? Like that stuff kind of just happens.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. Definitely, they deserved all the stick that they got for it. It's one of those things where, everyone's expected. It did suck because our practices were at 7 in the morning. So, once you're getting up early, you got to get up even earlier to get into the AT room and make sure you get warmed up if you have any lingering injuries. So, you really do have to get up like 5:30 in the morning to make sure that you're all set for practice. But everyone's expected to be there, and mistakes happen. Everybody slips up every now and again, but it was pretty funny because they were like, yeah guys, it'll believe me, it will never happen again. And then like 3 days later, hey, where's Dante and Jackson? And they're just snoozing.
Is there some running that the rest of the team has to do when that happens?
Oh yeah, there were some punishments that everybody
Yeah.
was like, coach made sure, hey guys, we're running right now because of Dante and Jackson. So make sure you give them some stick. And we're like, Dante and Jackson, man.
Were they
Oh,
roommates
this
at least? Is that how it
They were
happened? Or
roommates, yes, they
okay,
were.
I was gonna say I think they were conspiring against you if they aren't roommates, because that's too much.
Right, right.
Okay. Hopefully this one's a little easier for you, Brady.
yeah.
Just your favorite memory. Doesn't have to be funny or crazy, just your favorite thing when you look back at your playing career so far. Can you do that one first?
Yeah, yeah. I geez, it's tough to single out just one memory. Because you have so many good times with all the guys, and you just develop such a relationship. Like, who you spend like your team is who you spend the majority of your time with on campus, and like it's gotten to the point now where like we're brothers, like we do everything together. And I guess favorite memories, just the like the days that everybody looks forward to throughout the year, like homecoming weekend's a big one. I mean, we've had games on homecoming the past couple of years, but um, getting everybody together. St. Patrick's Day is another big one. We like to go out and hang out outside in the sun when the weather allows us. So just I just look back on the days where we're all together, and it doesn't even really matter what we're doing. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just spending time with those guys.
Justin, how about you?
I would say in terms of like playing, um, just having those late night games that are under the lights, the games where kind of the whole team is locked in and everybody's playing well. Those moments, they like really stick with you. And when I think back on my time playing, um, Brady he was younger than me, but he played on the defense. And so a lot of the times, your attack starts from the defense. So moving forward, everything starts from Brady. and then I played in the middle, so it would play through to me, and then the ball is going to our forwards, who are a couple of our other really good buddies. So kind of being able to enjoy all those games under the lights and seeing the play start, continue, and finish with all your best buddies. There's really no way to describe kind of that bond and the feeling that you have towards those moments. So that's something that I really, really, really miss after being through with my 4 years. But it's something that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, no doubt.
I would agree. And you saying that those late night games, that actually brought up probably my favorite memory. It was one of our first games my sophomore year, which would have been your senior year. It was a just 0-0 game. Like, we just couldn't figure out anything offensively. And it gets down to like late on in the game, and we're thinking, oh boy, like it's just going to end as a 0-0. And we scored in like the last 3 minutes. Our good friend Gavin scored really late on. And I just remember the feeling of just like running to the corner of the field to celebrate with the team, and everybody on the bench ran down to the corner too. And we're just like jumping on each other, hugging, like that type of moment. Like, it just sticks with you forever. Like, and it's a feeling you can't even really put into words. So that you reminded me, that's my favorite memory.
Good assist there, Justin.
That's what I do.
Now now let's start to wrap it up. You said it plays through you, so there you go. You got the assist on that one. Now let's start to wrap it up and have a couple Division III questions for both of you. So the first one, just what does it mean to be or to have been a D3 student athlete? And maybe that's that you got to be involved in some other things around campus. You got really great academics, obviously, at Adrian. Just what did that experience mean to you? And Justin, I'll have you start.
Yeah, to me, I think the best way I could sum it up is it's a small community, and I think that's the best part about it. You tend to get to know a lot of people on campus. Our school in general, we have a lot of sports teams, so a lot of our students are student athletes, and so right off the bat, if you're a freshman coming in, you have 70% of the population that's going to school, maybe even more, that right away you have something that you can connect on, and that is that you play a sport for the school. So it's a great way to get to know people and meet new people that you wouldn't have met otherwise. And then on top of that, Adrian does a lot of work around the community. A lot of our sports teams get involved with the community, doing community service, working with the schools. I actually did some coaching for youth leagues with my, at my time at Adrian, I would coach some of the Lenawee County youth leagues. That was an awesome experience. So I think being in that smaller school D3 environment is great for a lot of things, but I think community is the best way to kind of sum it all up.
Brady?
Yeah, geez, there's a lot of different things you could say about being a D3 athlete. I would say, like, it really helps you to build, like, first of all, like a close network of like people that you're gonna see for the rest of your life. Like, even beyond just your teammates, like I still keep in regular contact with like the people that weren't on my team, but we lived in the same dorm freshman year. Like, we're still all really close that way. You don't meet as many people as going to like a big state school or whatever, but the people that you do meet, you end up becoming a lot closer with. Um, I think that's a huge aspect of it. And the unfortunate thing, like being D3, is like it's not for everybody. Like, I'll be straight up with that. Like, we have we have a lot of guys that come for one season and decide it's not for them, and end up moving to community college or going to work or whatever the case may be. So I would just say you really have to be committed to it, and it helps you build that sort of like perseverance and commitment to whatever cause that may be. But at the end of the day, you get out of it what you put into it. So if you go into it with a good mindset that you're gonna, all right, I'm gonna be diligent with my classes, with my athletics, then you're gonna have a great experience. But if you come into it with the mindset that, it doesn't really matter or whatever, then those are, unfortunately, a lot of those students end up going for a semester, a year, and dropping out. So the close relationships, I would say, are the main thing. But then also building that perseverance, determination, that's another huge aspect of it too.
Awesome. Now, the last question, you kind of have to pull out a crystal ball here or look into the future a little bit, but this podcast is part of our 50th anniversary. So 50 years down, many more to come. When you look at the future of Division III, and maybe that's men's soccer specific if you want to, or it can just be D3 in general. When you look at the future of D3, what do you see or what do you hope to see? Brady, you can start.
That's a very good question. I would say I hope to see that division or athletics in general, but specifically Division III, um, becomes more accessible to everyone. I think a lot of Division III schools are unfortunately private schools, and the education costs a little bit more. And I think that deters a lot of high school students from wanting to go down this route. But that's really unfortunate because, like I said, if you do have access to it and you do go into it with a good mindset, then it can be a great experience for anyone. But I think a lot of people are turned away by, um, the stigma around going to a private school. So I think that's the biggest thing is just down the road, I think making it more accessible for everyone. That's the biggest thing that I would love to see in the future.
All right, Justin?
Yeah, I would agree with what Brady said in terms of accessibility for high school students. One thing that I think would be awesome to see is allowing scholarships at the D3 level. I think that's one way that, because there's a lot of really, really talented and smart individuals that um, go to D3 colleges for sports. And it would be really cool if, they could also kind of offset some of those costs of school through both academics and athletics. I think that would just open up the possibilities for students even more. But I also would like to see D3 kind of keep some of its roots in terms of the communities that it kind of grows. Because if you talk to anybody that goes to any D3 school, they'll say, they'll kind of have similar answers to Brady and I, and that's that, they really enjoyed having that small school feel, that community feel where they have relationships that they built with professors, peers that last, a lifetime. And, anytime that anybody gets together, they can always talk about, everybody that they've met along the way. And I think that that's something that you don't get as much at bigger schools. So I would really, really hope that D3 kind of keeps some of its roots in the fact that it really fosters a great community.
A great way to close this out. Thank you both so much for hopping on here today and chatting with me. Really excited that your season is probably just over a month away for you, Brady. So good luck this season. And Justin, thanks for joining us all the way from your office.
Yeah, well, thank you for having me.
It was great to talk to you.
To everyone listening, thanks for tuning into the 50th and final episode of Small Talk. Make sure to keep following along with all things Division III on social media at NCAA D3 or NCAA DIII. Have a great day, and thanks for listening all year long.